Hello, my dear students. Today we have lecture number 4, classification of inorganic compounds. In lecture, we will consider several types of problems. There are classification of oxides, acids, base, and classification of salts. Classification of chemical substance was first attempt by Antoine Laurent Lavoisier in 1787. He cited that simple substance consists of atoms of same elements. Oxides consist from 2 elements, and one is oxygen. Carboxyles, product of interaction of oxides with water. And last type of complex substance is salts, products of interaction of different hydroxides with each other. The main things in the classification, there is no universal classification we have today. There are many types of it. For example, by the nature of origin of compounds, inorganic and organic substance. Second, by the number of elements in the connection or in the chemical substance. Simple and complex compounds. Third, by the type of transfer of various particles in the chemimal reactions, transfer of protons, electrons, and other. Fourth, by the type of chemical bonds in the compound, covalent, ionic, metallic, and other. Classification by the type of particle transfer in reaction. Acids, base, salts, there can transfer their protons. And oxidable agents such as chlorine, potassium, calcium permanganate, sodium, calcium permanganate, and nitro acid, and can transfer electrons. And complex agents, ligands, and complex substance can transfer of electrons, electronic pairs. Classification by the number of chemical elements that make up the compound. Inorganic compounds, single elements substance. For example, hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur atoms. And for 2-element compounds or binary compounds, we can take ammonia, sodium chloride, and iron oxide elements. And multi-element compounds, for multi-element compounds, we can take calcium phosphate and other. Simple substance. What are simple substance? Simple substance divide to non-metals and metals. Non-metals can be active, medium active, and noble elements. Active elements, there are halogens. Medium active, there are we can take nitrate, nitrogen, carbon, and silicon atoms. And noble gas, for example, helium, neonium, and argon. Metals can be active. For example, sodium, potassium, sodium, and calcium. metals, medium active, iron, fluorine, and nickel. Noble elements or metals, aurum, platinum, and radium. Classification of binary substance, two-element binary compounds or intermetallics. There contains several concepts. First, oxides contain oxygen atoms, hydrogen compounds of non-metals of hydrides contain hydrogen atoms, and halides contain hydrogen ions, and chalcogenes contain oxygen ions. Nitrides, phosphates, carbides, silicides, and silicides. Classification of oxides. Classification of oxides. There are of first type of chemical complex substance. Oxides can be divided to salt-forming and non-salt-forming oxides. Salt-forming oxides divide to three types of oxides. There are acidic, basic, and amphasteric oxides. And non-salting forming, for non-salting forming oxides, we can take nitrogen oxide, four valence of nitrogen oxide. And classification of multi-element compounds. Multi-element compounds we can divide to hydroxide and clusters, clatres, complex connections, salts, acids, and base. Second type of chemical substance, there are acids. Acids we can divide to oxygen-free and oxygen-containing acids. Oxygen-free oxides are carbochloride and selenium chloride, selenium acids, and sulfur acids. And oxygen-containing about oxygen-containing acids we can call nitrogen acids, phosphorus oxides, and sulfur oxides. And acids, second classification of acids is according to their force. For example, weak acids and strong acids. Weak acids can be sulfur acid and borium acids. About strong acids, we can say nitro acids and sulfur acids. Classification of acids. Acids can classificate to single base, two base, three base, and multi-base acids. Classification of base. Base can be strong base and insoluble base. Strong base can format by soluble alkalis, for example, sodium hydroxide and barium hydroxide. Insoluble base can format by copper hydroxide, iron hydroxide, and zinc hydroxide. Base can be a single acid base, two acid base, three acid base, and multi-acid base. The fourth type of chemical substance is salts. Classification of salts. Salts can be classified to medium sour, basic, mixed, and double salts. For example, medium salts, we can take sodium sulfate and calcium phosphate. Names of simple substance according to UPAC and traditional names, we can call this chemical reaction. We can call chemical reaction monohydrogen atom hydrogen for hydrogen atoms. For example, phosphorus in UPAC. According to UPAC, we can call this substance tetraphosphorus, and in traditional names we can call white phosphorus. That's all. If you haven't any question, I will finish it today's lecture.